Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best value for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems. David Beard, CRM Principal, and Jeff Richards, Head of Training Program Development for Sage CRM, spend time chatting with customers, resellers, and others about Sage CRM in action around the globe. Across the next 3 episodes, we talk about the value of integrating the front and back office transactional systems with examples of processes and data flows that can be improved through the joining of accounts and CRM. We also think about how finance teams can act as the driver to effect change inside their own business, as well as Basil walking us through a few customer stories who have benefited from taking this approach of integration. So you join us today as we talk to the CRM Practice Lead of Blytheco. Basil Malik, based in Tulsa, Oklahoma, has been working with Sage CRM since 2013 or thereabouts, and working with Blytheco now, he's responsible for building and growing their CRM base across their many thousands of customers nationally. Blytheco, as a business, leverages software, consulting, and support that is award-winning to, as they say, empower their clients and enable their business growth. And they service customers from their offices across North America, including Laguna Hills, which is just south of LA, Atlanta in Georgia, Denver in Colorado, and Minneapolis in Minnesota. Hello to you, Basil.
Hello, David.
Described, by the way, as the millennial whiz kid who built a computer before he could drive. Is that true, Basil?
That is absolutely true.
Jeff, as ever, is with me as well. Jeff, our Director of Training. Would you like to say hello, Jeff?
I'll say hello, and I'm all in a sulk now because if Basil's a millennial, I have to actually go into a sulk because I'm a tail-end boomer.
Basil, tell us a bit about yourself.
All right. Well, I'm Basil Malik. I've been a Sage CRM consultant for about 7.5, 8 years. Really got interested in CRM in general just from the overall atmosphere of the front office. There's always a buzz about it, and then seeing how technology integrates and really enables them to do the most with their time on a regular basis is kind of what got me hooked. And then from there, just diving into Sage CRM and how it integrates with Sage 100 and then kind of expanding from there.
You talked about being hooked, Basil, and getting into the integrating the front and back office idea then. Why should people in finance care about CRM? What does it mean to them?
Well, for the most part, the evolution of the CFO role and people in the finance role in general, there's a very inherent nature of enablement using a CRM. Take collections, for example. If you've got someone that's based in the AR clerk role and their goal is to make sure that they reconcile all the accounts, all their AR balances cleared in a relatively quick manner, makes money for the company, and they're not having to spend more resources and time trying to get the money collected from their customers. Where CRM comes into play is it can actually be proactive. Rather than running a report X number of days, seeing who's doing it, it really does give them the capability of seeing who is on track to not pay their bill on time. And then from there, track who from the organization is reaching out to the customer's office to try and solicit that. Management is not having to second guess what's happening. And that's just from the AR role. From the AP side, I mean, if you've got a process to try and negotiate rates or anything like that, you can actually do it on a timetable and then make sure that you're always getting the best rates from your vendors. So those are just 2 very simple examples of how CRM can really enable the finance. To take it a step further, onboarding of new customers. People that utilize CRM typically track lead conversations, prospect conversations, and then eventually the conversion from a lead to a prospect or a prospect to a customer can be somewhat clunky. Having a process built in something like a Sage CRM, for example, you can automate the email that goes out to them. You can standardize it to make sure the same message is sent to every single customer that you're onboarding. You can ensure that they're getting the material that incentivizes them to submit their credit application, their business profile, so on and so forth. That way, when it comes back in, you can also save that to the CRM, but also have a basis of why a customer was set up a certain way within the Sage 100 or your ERP system.
So I'm interested in that onboarding discussion. That's not something that anyone's expressed in those terms to me before, which is I find fascinating. Can I delve into that a bit further? Every business, am I right in thinking that every business has an onboarding process of some sort?
I mean, you'd like to hope so. And think of it like a cookie cutter in that, right? You always want to get, at the bare minimum, a set amount of information from a given customer. If you automate or streamline that using something like workflow within Sage CRM, for example, you can have a step-by-step process of the onboarding and make sure that no one misses any particular data point or, getting credit references, so on and so forth.
Okay, so that means let's go with the assumption that most customers do have some sort of onboarding process for their own customers. What happens without CRM, and how do people do it at the moment?
It honestly can be a bit of the Wild West. Accounting may have a tendency to go and create a customer within Sage 100, which can automatically push that same record over to Sage CRM and duplicate the effort. So now you've got two disparate records that somehow have to be reconciled. That is one very large glaring benefit of automating it and keeping it within Sage CRM.
And why is it a problem to have it with that back office, front office split? What's the issue when you say having to rectify it or reconcile it? What's the problem?
The biggest problem is that someone's tracking all of their communications, all their emails, all their phone calls with the lead or the prospect. So that's under one record within the CRM. And then someone in finance goes and creates it and then doesn't connect it to the right record. So now you have one record that has all of the history under one record and then one that looks completely blank. So if you've got any type of attachments that you've sent to them or any emails or phone calls, now you have to go through the process of, connecting the two of them.
And from your many years working with your current partner, reseller, and also your previous experience, how have you introduced the subject of why this matters, particularly if someone's already got an accounting system like Sage 100? How do you convince them that the way to do things should be improved with CRM?
With the evolution of the CFO role in general and finance working more in line with the rest of the C-suite, you're starting to see more integrated discussions. The conversation typically starts with the finance role and then trying to sell them on the concept of, hey, you can track all of your collection efforts within the CRM and actually have a standardization process. You can have dashboard gadgets that point out proactively, hey, this customer hasn't paid their bill in 40 days. They typically conduct outreaches 45 days or later, or whatever the threshold might be. From there, that's when you kind of get their attention, and then you start wrapping that into the sales and operations pieces, sales, marketing, customer service. You start illustrating how you can leverage workflows in tandem with the sales order entry process so that people can either create quotes or orders from Sage 100 and then have it land within the workflow, do everything within Sage CRM and initiate quotes and orders there so that you have a very clear capture of sales, marketing, customer service efforts.
One of the conversations Jeff and I have with each other and equally have outwards in terms of the way we talk to customers is getting accounting-only customers consider why CRM would be better at doing something like collections management. You and I know that there are plenty of reports inside accounting software products on their own that do debtor days or collection days and things like that. Why step into the world of CRM? What's the advantage?
Well, pulling data out of Sage 100 becomes somewhat the ultimate big sell or the flourish, if you will, in illustrating that you can pull not only your current year-to-date, your previous year-to-date sales revenue on a given customer, but if you're looking at tracking and trending specific product lines to proactively identify cross-sell opportunities, you can package that information up using the technology behind the scenes and bring that over. It creates a one-stop shop for the salespeople to truly enable them and have better conversations with their customers.
Next time, we talk about Basil's approach to gaining interest with customers around CRM, starting from a discussion with the accounts team. You've been listening to Talking CRM with Jeff and David, getting the best for the whole organization from your integrated CRM and accounting systems.